I'm going to surprise Peter today. We down the pub, Peter, we sometimes have some discussions about politics and, well, we just go off at all sorts of tangents. I want to bring a politician into this, and I think you know that I'm probably a bit left of centre. Probably a long way left of centre, and there are one or two who don't think I'm anything other than mad. But I want to quote Margaret Thatcher.
Okay.
Before your time, sir, Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, who said something quite amazing, really. She said, and I quote this from Dave Bookless again, but it's a Margaret Thatcher quote. Whatever you may think of her politics, Margaret Thatcher got this absolutely right when she stated, "No generation has a freehold on this earth. All we have is a life tenancy with a full repairing lease." That was Margaret Thatcher back in the 80s, folks. And if she can get hold of that, and I'm not a great fan of Margaret Thatcher, but I am a great fan of this comment, that no generation has a freehold on this earth. All we have is a life tenancy with a full, it's a lovely phrase she said, repairing lease.
Yeah.
And I think that's partly what I'm trying to get at in this whole theme, that if we've got to turn away from some of the things we're doing towards something different, because that's a repentance, it's a repairing of some of the things maybe we haven't got right. And if you can remember right at the start, Peter, of all these, this theme that we picked up halfway through Lent, I said, remember Psalm 24, the first verse, "The earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and all who live in it." That was the starting point. It's his, no matter what. But actually, I just want to endorse that is all over this Bible that I'm trying to encourage you to read, by the way. So, for example, folks, Psalm 50, verses 10 and 11, excuse me flicking pages, says, "For every animal of the forest is mine, and the cattle on 1,000 hills. I know every bird in the mountains, and the creatures of the field are mine." That's Psalm 50. And then if I go to Deuteronomy 10:14, it says this, "To the Lord your God belong the heavens, even the highest heavens, the earth and everything in it." So that's further back in the Old Testament. It does say, and it's an interesting one that could be thrown out to challenge some of this, but I want to say it doesn't quite say that. Psalm 115, verse 16 says, "The highest heavens belong to the Lord, but the earth he has given to man." But what I want to say in the context of the whole thing is he's given it to us temporarily. It's a leasehold, and it's a full repairing lease, as Margaret Thatcher would say. And so just to come back to the overall theme, Leviticus, further back than Deuteronomy in the Old Testament, says, let me just find that. Where are we here? Leviticus chapter 25, verse 23 says, "The land must not be sold permanently, because the land is mine, and you are but aliens and my tenants." So basically, even if you own it in a worldly sense, you've got to be thinking about how that's passed on, and you've got to give it back or to the family future down the line or whatever. It isn't ours. And the whole point about it is that it was created not for us in a way, although God obviously made us for a purpose. It was created for Jesus. And I just want to make this point before I bring you in, Peter. In Colossians 1:16, it says, and I find it, 1:16. So it's his New Testament letter, Paul to the Colossians. It says, "For by him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities, all things were created by him and for him." So it was created because it was basically for Jesus. It wasn't for us, but we've been put here to enjoy the benefits of what God has wanted to create. So that's an awful lot there. What do you think of that lot, Pete? Or would you rather not say anything?
I think what comes to mind when you talk about freehold and leasehold, freehold
I
is
thought you might home in
permanent.
on that.
There's a permanency, or whatever the word is,
Yeah.
of freehold, where actually we're not given ownership of the earth. Even if humanity has ownership of the earth, which it doesn't, we're not humanity. We're just one generation who's trying to pass it on for the whole
future,
of the future.
Yeah.
So even if we do own the earth, it's not a permanent state, and we need to look after the earth for future humanity. But then there's the argument that some people have that humans aren't good for the earth. My point of view is that without humans there's just no point. The earth isn't ours, as you say. I think it is God's. So we need to look after future humanity, which is God's, and future life, which is the whole environment.
Wonderful summary.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. See you tomorrow, folks.
See you.